Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel Divine Traveler, the tale behind the stone walls. Episode number 28, and here I cover our journey on day number 73 of phase 4 season 1 when we travel from Hubbali towards Haveri and on way covering varahaswamy temple at Halasi, Nagreshwara temple at Bankapur and Siddheshvara temple at Haveri. We begin with the varahaswamy temple at Halasi. The town of Halasi, originally called Palasika in Belgaum district, is one of the oldest and ancient towns in Karnataka. Halasi is also known for the Kadambas of Halasi, a South Indian dynasty during the late classical period, post-Mauryan period founded by Mayur Sharma in about 4th century AD. Halasi was the second capital of the early Kadambas, minor capital around 980 to 1250 AD. The Kadamba rules of Halasi during the time built the temples of varahaswamy, Kapileshwara Swami Temple, Suvarneshwara Temple, Hatakeshwara Temple, Kalmeshwara Temple, Gokarneshwara and a Jain Basadi. It was one of the finest confluence of Jainism, Shaivism and Vaishnavism during early Kadambas. Jain Basadi was built later after the Hindu temples. The other capital of Halasi was Goa, also known as the Goa Kadambas. Halasi flourished under these two dynasties and remained as an important cultural site back then. According to legend associated with the shrine of varahaswamy, the Pandavas built this temple overnight during their exile and worshipped Lord Vishnu here. According to the temple priest, the 2 feet tall idol of Narasimha on the left side of Vishnu is Swambhu or Udbhava and not sculpted by anyone. Talking about the architecture, varahaswamy Lakshmi Narasimha Swami Temple is an example of classic Kadamba architecture built around the 5th century. It deviates from the typical Dravidian structures developed much later. According to an inscription, the temple was built by Shivachitta of Kadamba dynasty. With 2 garbhagrihas, the main sanctum is that of Mahavishnu in sitting portion, supposedly representing Swambhu and believed to be not built by human but appeared on its own. The second sanctum is that of varahaswamy. The 2 garbhagrihas has an attached antarala opening into a common Navaranga with 2 mukhamandapas. The central ceiling of the Navaranga carries a beautiful inverted lotus motif but is now covered with a wooden plank. The Murti of the Sri varahaswamy was installed in the year 1187 by King Vijayaditya III in the second Garbhagriha opposite to the Garbhagriha dedicated to the main deity. Though there are 2 Garbhagrihas, only the original Garbhagriha has a shikhara and the Kadamba Nagara style was used for the construction of the same, built probably much later during the Goa Kadamba period. This temple bears architectural resemblance to Sri Madhubeshwara temple at Vanavasi to some extent. The lotus motif in the ceiling is a typical representation of the Kadambas. The Kadamba architecture was the basis of the Hoysala architecture later and were the forerunners in South Indian architecture. The temple is built on an elevated platform, Jagati. There are few smaller temples in the complex dedicated to Lord Shankara Narayana, Garuda, Maruti, Radha Krishna, and also there is a step well. The complex is well maintained and its temples are functional. This temple is perhaps the oldest surviving temple dedicated to Lord Narasimha. During 345 AD to 525 AD, the ancient royal dynasty of Karnataka, the Kadambas made early contribution to the architecture of Karnataka and they are the originators. The most prominent feature of Kadamba architecture was Shikhara called Kadamba Shikhara. The tower rises in steps without any decoration, pyramid-shaped shikhara with pinnacle, also known as Tupika or Kalasha on top. The Kadamba temple's vimana, usually square in plan, the tower is pyramidal shaped and constitutes a series of horizontal stages decorated with uniform series of quadrangular vertical projections and covering vestibules attached to vimana. The stages are more numerous and less elevated, devoid of pavilion ornamentation. From Halasi, we move towards Bankapur to visit the Nagreshwara temple at Bankapur. The Nagreshwara temple, also known as Aravattu Kambhada Gudi or temple with 60 columns, is a historical marvel located within Bankapura fort in the Shiggaon taluk of Karnataka. This 12th century temple is protected by ASI. The history of the Nagreshwara Swamy temple is unclear. Some estimates suggest it was constructed in the 10th or 11th century. Traditional legends place its construction in the time of the Chola Empire, which was popular for its historical influence and contribution to art and architecture. The temple has a long history of rulers who ruled over Hoysala and Vijayanagara dynasty over the centuries. Its construction combined architectural styles and underwent the addition of artistic features. A restoration was done in the 19th century to ensure that the temple was preserved and handed over to the next generations. The temple is an example of Kalyani Chalukya architectural style built primarily with soapstone. According to the writings of Farishta, the Sultan ordered a superb temple within the fort to be destroyed. However, despite much pillage, the large temple with its majestic great hall still retains some of its original beauty. The temple was built in the honor of Hindu god Shiva, as is proved from the two short inscriptions in the temple, which began with a salutation to Shambhu. There are other inscriptions in the temple, two of which are dated 1138 CE and one dated 1091 that records grants to god Nagreshwara Deva. Talking about the architecture, Western Chalukyan architecture has a pride of place in the Indian architectural tradition and had a significant influence on the later day Hoysala architecture. According to art historian Adam Hardy, this temple is assignable to the 12th century and belongs to non-mainstream Western Chalukya art. It is constructed with soapstone material and comprises a small shrine and a closed hall mandapa and connects to a large open hall Mahamandapa or Navaranga. Its most famous feature is the grand Mahamandapa, supported by 60 to 66 large lathe-turned and highly polished stone pillars. The bell-shaped lathe-turned pillars of dark grey soapstone, so well polished are the pillars that they sparkle with reflected light. The ceiling in the large hall between pillars are highly decorative with designs such as rosettes with imaginary beasts, Kirti Mukhas at the four corners. The sanctum is now empty but would have at one time housed a linga. Originally a magnificent structure, the temple suffered significant damage during invasions in the medieval times, particularly when the fort fell to the Bahmani armies in 1406 CE and later to the Bijapur Sultanate. The structure was partially buried to protect it from further destruction, which is why it appears somewhat below ground level today. The temple is situated within the expansive Bankapura fort, which is also home to the Bankapura Peacock Sanctuary, making it a significant attraction for history buffs and nature lovers. From the gate, one has to walk around 300 to 400 meters till the temple. On way, there are motifs and reliefs which can be seen on ground. Our final destination, and as we move towards Haveri from Bankapur, is the Siddheshvara temple at Haveri. The Siddheshvara temple is located in Haveri, is considered an ornate example of 12th century Western Chalukyan art and is well known for the many loose sculptures of Hindu deities that exist in it. Inscriptional evidence would suggest that the initial consecration of the temple was in the 11th century and might have been a Vaishnavite temple which has been later converted into a Shaiva temple. An exciting aspect of the temple is that it faces west instead of facing the rising sun, as is the case in most of the Chalukyan constructions. Many people visit the temple for their spiritual beliefs, while evidence about the temple visits can be found in Bhagavad Gita chapter 17 verse 23, which says otherwise. The Siddheshvara temple is located very close to Haveri railway station. The temple is an Ekakuta living temple with puja performed every day. The temple carries typical Kalyani Chalukyan traits and has architectural similarity to Mukteshwara temple, Chauda Danapura temple and Someshwara temple at Halasi. The Vimana above the sanctum is a 6-story structure with panels and an emblem in the center. If you carefully observe, one can make out that the central images are all missing. The Vimana carries several motifs of musicians, dancers and is highly carved with the images of Yali. The temple has a 4-layer plinth on which the entire structure stands. It is magical to observe that while the remaining 3 layers are thick stone slabs, the third is comparatively thinner layer, barely 1 to 1.5 inch thick. The fifth is the most interesting layer. They are a combination of one large panel and 2 smaller panels interlocked together. According to Henley Cousins, the central emblems Kirti Mukhas on each proof panel have been carefully chipped away, including the original idol of deity. He also observed that this must have been a Vaishnava temple which later on passed into the Jainis' hands and finally went into the hands of Lingayats, who continue to worship this day to Lord Shiva. He also mentions that there are loose images in the antechamber of Lord Shiva, Goddess Parvati, Nagadevta and a seated male figure with 6 arms holding a linga with his 2 lower arms. So friends, with this I come to the end of episode number 27. I do hope you enjoyed the episode. Till the next episode and covering on with this great journey, do take care of yourself and bye for now.